Hey everyone. Okay, this video is going to be about my idea for or ideas for like the moon and Mars, mostly Mars because as for the moon, I get that they could probably set up stations, which I feel like they already have military bases on the moon. I mean, that's just my personal belief. I feel like they've already done that. But maybe later on they can make it public or whatever, that's what they're doing. But I feel like as far as the moon, we need to leave its gravity field alone because, it is what it is. It circles us. If you mess with this gravity field, it might have a bad effect on the Earth since it's so close. I just think that needs to be left alone. So any activity on the moon just needs to, they need to go with what's going on with the moon and not tamper with its atmosphere or anything like that. Okay. But as for Mars, since it's a real good distance from our planet and everything, I don't think it would hurt to kickstart its gravity field. And I feel like the scientists know how to do that. They've already been discussing it. I've read about it and everything. So I know that they know how to do it, okay? So they can do that so that, people will be able to walk on Mars, like they do here on Earth, okay? Then, of course, kickstart its biosphere or whatever with plants and, whatever, which initially it will have to be just all be plants, I'm sure. Of course, humans can build like, a dome or underground station or whatever, and to where humans can live there and do what they need to do, maybe starting out with scientists and military people and all that, and get things going before we actually bring colonies of people to the new world, so to speak. Okay, all right, they can get everything set up, and of course release like maybe carbon dioxide and different things like that, as well as oxygen, to, in other words, to keep everything staying on the planet. Like right now, if anything gets released on the planet, it's just going to go out into outer space, or at least most of it will, okay? But if they can get that maintained, then they can trap oxygen and everything and keep it on this planet, okay? Keep all that within, the atmosphere of Mars, okay? So once they figure that out, and I feel like they know how to do that as well, okay? It probably wouldn't take really too much. I don't feel like it's going to take no hundreds of years. I just feel like the technology is here. They know what to release, how much to release, whatever, into the atmosphere in order to make it to where it will trap what needs to be trapped, okay? And like I said, then you start adding plants and all that type of thing to, plant the right kinds of trees and everything to, okay, you got your ground level type plants that you definitely will need. Your grasses, your flowers, all that type of stuff. Your smaller trees, your like fir trees and cedar type trees, the evergreen type trees, to keep wind shear down, to keep the wind from blowing things around and blowing dust and all that type of thing all around. Make sure you have plenty of those. And also the type of trees that have like tall canopies, that will protect people and everything from being basically scorched by the sun, because Mars being like it is, you don't want everything to get scorched, because right now the temperature changes are like very intense and extreme, okay? Once you start leveling all that off, you want it to be steady. So planting all this different variants of trees and stuff, that will keep that maintained to where it's not too hot or not too cold, to where the the soil doesn't wash away or, do whatever. Everything will be like it needs to be. Okay? So I think that would be vital in order to keep it going. And then, of course, you can start building your cities, your shopping malls, whatever. Once all that gets going. But I know the number one thing that I think all the countries are participating countries that want to do this, that actually want to colonize Mars, they need to get together and create a system that will, of course, they've already got Mars mapped out. All right. Well, all they would have to do is, have everything set up, in a percentage type thing, to where it depends on your country size and your population and everything as to the land that you're going to get. So all they would have to do is, decide amongst themselves, or, all these countries, using this percentage thing, decide who's going to get what and where. Okay? That needs to be taken care of before we even go. Like, there should be no question, no, nothing that's going to cause a conflict or a problem, which naturally there's going to be a few problems, because there's always going to be some country that's going to feel like it got cheated out, or it's going to be greedy or whatever. But still, there needs to be definite standards set, guidelines, rules, whatever, and everything needs to already be set out, done in writing and whatever, before they even actually decide to start doing all this. Okay? So once that's decided, then things can kick off and get going. And then, you can start. I mean, what would be so cool is if, you could call somebody from, Mars or whatever, or, go back and forth or whatever, and, you can just pick up a phone and dial such and such, and then, they can have their city names and their, I guess what you call states, whatever states they want to call it or whatever, within certain regions and everything. I mean, that, just the thought of that is just like so mind blowing and so cool and so fun to think about. I just feel like that one day will be our future. I mean, I don't know if I'll live long enough to see it, but wow, even if I die before this happens, I want my spirit to be able to see this. I just think it would be so cool, just so wonderful to know that we have accomplished that, because with the population growing here on Earth and all that, which there's different things about that. Some groups say that the population is getting too big, and then others say that it's not, it's dying off, with all the baby boomers and all that type thing, that, it's decreasing. So, I really don't know what to believe as far as that goes, but regardless, we have enough people on this planet to colonize another planet, or to colonize a ship planet. There's always people willing to go where no man has gone before, or where less men have gone, and to create a new life. Especially, let's just say, if you don't have any family here on this planet, if you're a lone person or an orphan or whatever, that might be your thing. And who knows? But yeah, it just makes me so happy to think about this, and to know, that there's going to be, maybe great grandchildren or great grandchildren on down the line that might be outside planting a tree on Mars. I mean, wow. That just, or having their garden, or just walking around shopping and all that, I mean, wow. And I just feel like through radio wave technology, maybe there can be discoveries of certain crystals and things like that can make it possible, which they already can contact through outer space. I mean, when they send all these satellites and all this stuff into outer space, they can send back pictures and whatever. So as far as radio wave technology, it's there. Like, there, as far as communications, it's there. All they got to do is just set it up to where, it won't interfere with the earth as far as, our radio waves, our normal, natural, regular radio waves, but yet it can be set up to where we can contact them and they can contact us. Same thing on these floating ship planets. There can be telephone, what we call telephone communications, but it will all be radio type thing. They can find, like I said, a certain type of frequency and maybe find the right type of crystal or whatever the heck they need in order to project this this radio wave signal or whatever, or maybe invent a new form of communication, maybe through a type of beam or I don't know, light force or whatever. I mean, which that's another topic for another day. But there's ways that they can create communications between planets and everything. And then, of course, as far as TV, they can have different ways of giving people TV packages, internet, all this stuff. I mean, I think that, it's doable. It's very doable. Just once everything gets rolling, then it will fall into place, And since it's going to be new, hopefully, it won't have as many restricted regulations as we already have on this planet. Like, in other words, okay, let's take Earth, for instance, okay? There's certain places that need terraforming on this planet. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We've got deserts where it would really be better if we didn't have deserts in those places. If it had water and trees and whatever. And then, of course, there's all that concern about deforestation or whatever. Well, the problem with a lot of that is the governments, because some governments don't want you over in their territory planting trees or doing anything. So because they've got those restrictions and all that, there cannot be anything done. Okay? But if they make it clear before we go to Mars that it's going to be terraformed, it's going to be terraformed a certain way, it's going to be planned out from the get-go, and all countries on this planet have to be on board with this terraformation, because it's going to be critical and vital for life to be sustained. There definitely would have to be this agreement that it's going to happen, and it will happen. Okay? So once we get that made clear, then trees and whatever can be planted. Things can be done that should be done on this planet. That's where I feel like, countries really need to get together on this, because they keep complaining about global warming and all that crap, which I have my own theory about that. I think that's being done intentionally because you can see it through the chemtrails, but that's a different story. But still, this whole allowing of this deforestation without planting anything back, or allowing of these deserts to continue, when if they would plant the right type of trees and all that and the right type of ground coverage, that wouldn't be a problem either. But yet you got stubborn people that don't want it to happen, and they've got their own agendas, then naturally it's not going to happen. And that's part of our planet's problem, is people being that way. But like I said, when we go to new planets or we create new artificial planets or whatever, we need to get on board. People need to get on board. If you can't be on board, then you're not going to be a part of the project. That's how I would set it up. Is either everybody's on board with the initial project and the way that it's going to go down, or you're out. You will have no say. Your country will have no grounds for nothing on it. That's just my belief about it. So yeah, that all would need to be done and taken care of. So, but anyway, I'm going to shut up because I know I'm blabbing on and whatever. But anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.